Ronaldo vs Messi, Champions League penalties compared GOAT. The UEFA Champions League is football's ultimate courtroom. Every touch is judged, every mistake magnified, every penalty, historic. For nearly 2 decades, Ronaldo and Messi ruled this competition. They shattered scoring records, carried teams to finals, and turned knockout nights into personal highlight reels. But penalties reveal something deeper than skill. They reveal psychology. And when we compare Ronaldo and Messi from 12 yards in Europe's biggest competition, the contrast becomes fascinating. The penalty is a psychological duel. A penalty is not just technique. It's a duel of nerves. Goalkeepers try to distract. Fans whistle. Teammates avoid eye contact. Cameras zoom in on facial expressions. The scoreboard looms large. In those moments, we don't see speed or dribbling genius. We see temperament. And temperament separates legends from icons. Ronaldo, the ritual of authority. From his early days at Manchester United to his peak years at Real Madrid CF, Ronaldo approached penalties like a ceremony. The steps were almost always the same. Ball placed carefully. Slow walk backward. Legs slightly apart. Deep breath. Eyes locked. He turned the penalty into theater. Opponents often said the most intimidating part wasn't the shot, it was the weight. Ronaldo's body language screamed certainty. In Champions League knockout matches, especially, that aura mattered. He wasn't hoping to score. He expected to. Messi, the quiet calculation. Messi's approach couldn't look more different. During his prime at FC Barcelona, he didn't create theater. He created silence. Short run-up. Minimal drama. Quick execution. Where Ronaldo projected dominance outwardly, Messi internalized everything. He often watched the goalkeeper until the final split second, sometimes adjusting mid-run. His penalties weren't power-driven statements, they were precision puzzles. If Ronaldo was psychological pressure from the outside in, Messi was surgical calm from the inside out. Early Champions League years. Ronaldo's early Champions League penalties came during his Manchester United era. While he became more clinical over time, there were learning moments, including the famous missed penalty in the 2008 final shootout in Moscow. Messi, meanwhile, matured into Barcelona's primary taker during Pep Guardiola's golden era. In finals and knockout matches, he displayed confidence but occasionally showed vulnerability, especially when facing elite European goalkeepers who studied his patterns. Both legends experienced success and setbacks. And those setbacks shaped them. Knockout stage pressure. Who thrived? Knockout matches define legacies. Ronaldo's reputation as a big game player is deeply tied to his penalty record in decisive ties. Quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. When Madrid needed composure, Ronaldo often stepped up. In the 2014 final against Atletico Madrid, he converted a late penalty in extra time. While the match was already tilting in Madrid's favor, the weight of the occasion was enormous. In multiple knockout campaigns, Ronaldo delivered penalties that stabilized tense matches. Messi also converted crucial penalties in knockout stages for Barcelona. However, there were notable high-profile misses, particularly in matches where Barcelona's momentum faltered. The difference wasn't about talent. It was about consistency under extreme pressure. Technique breakdown. Ronaldo's technique. Powerful strike. Often higher into corners. Less reliance on keeper movement. Focus on unstoppable execution. He frequently aimed to remove doubt entirely, striking with such force and placement that even a correct guess wasn't enough. Messi's technique. Placement focused. Often low and precise. Reads goalkeeper's movement. Sometimes waits for the dive. Messi's approach was more reactive. Ronaldo's was declarative. One adapts. One imposes. Finals. The ultimate examination. Finals are unforgiving. Ronaldo scored in multiple Champions League finals and converted penalties when required, including shootouts. Messi scored in finals too, including open play goals that defined Barcelona's dominance. However, his penalty involvement in finals was less central compared to Ronaldo's knockout stage penalty heroics. When analyzing penalty success specifically in Champions League finals and high-pressure shootouts, Ronaldo's record edges ahead in narrative weight. He embraced the moment. He seemed to demand it. Body language, the invisible factor. Watch them closely before a penalty. Ronaldo stands tall, shoulders broad, chest lifted. He often scans the stadium. Messi keeps his gaze tight. Minimal expression. Almost detached. Sports psychologists often argue that outward displays of confidence can influence opponents. Ronaldo's physical presence might have intimidated keepers before the ball was even struck. Messi, on the other hand, relied on unpredictability. Both methods worked, but they worked differently. The numbers perspective. Statistically, both players have converted a high percentage of Champions League penalties across their careers. Ronaldo. Higher total volume in knockout stages. Multiple shootout involvements. Frequently first or last taker. Messi. Strong group stage conversion rate. Some high-profile knockout misses. Tactical placement variations. Raw percentages tell part of the story. Context tells the rest. Evolution over time. Ronaldo's penalty technique evolved. Early stutter steps eventually became more direct. His accuracy improved as his experience deepened. Messi experimented more over time, sometimes changing corners, sometimes increasing power, occasionally facing periods of inconsistency before adjusting again. Both adapted, but Ronaldo's Champions League penalty record became increasingly synonymous with reliability in decisive moments. Pressure defined differently. Pressure isn't uniform. There's pressure at 1-0 in a group game. And there's pressure at 1-1 in a semi-final second leg. Ronaldo seemed to elevate with the magnitude of the moment. His confidence often grew proportionally to the stakes. Messi sometimes thrived in rhythm-based team dominance. When Barcelona controlled matches, his penalties flowed naturally. In chaotic knockout battles, the margins tightened. This difference in environment may explain perceptions around clutch narratives. Teammate trust. At Madrid, Ronaldo was rarely questioned as the penalty taker. The hierarchy was clear. At Barcelona, Messi was the primary taker, but there were occasional shared responsibilities earlier in his career. That unwavering trust in Ronaldo reinforced his authority. When the ball was placed, there was no debate. The mental game. Penalty success at the highest level often comes down to three elements: routine, confidence, recovery from failure. Ronaldo demonstrated remarkable resilience. A missed penalty rarely affected his next attempt. Messi, too, showed resilience, adjusting technique after difficult periods. The key difference: Ronaldo appeared to thrive on confrontation. Messi appeared to thrive on flow. Different mental fuels. Goalkeeper perspectives. Many elite goalkeepers have spoken about facing both players. Against Ronaldo, the challenge was power in disguise. Even if you guessed right, stopping the shot required perfection. Against Messi, the difficulty was reading intention. He sometimes waited for movement, turning the goalkeeper's decision into a trap. Both forced keepers into uncomfortable territory. But Ronaldo's physicality added an extra layer of intimidation. Legacy impact. When fans debate the Champions League greatness of Ronaldo and Messi, penalty records are only a slice of the argument. Yet they symbolize something deeper. Who carried the weight of decisive moments? Ronaldo's penalty goals often came as statements of inevitability. Messi's often blended into Barcelona's collective dominance. Individually brilliant, contextually distinct. Narrative versus reality. Public perception frequently paints Ronaldo as the clutch penalty king and Messi as more fallible in knockout pressure. The reality is more nuanced. Both have succeeded repeatedly. Both have missed. But Ronaldo's personality amplifies his penalty moments. His celebrations, his stare-downs, his commanding presence, they embed the memory more vividly. Messi's quieter style sometimes softens the drama. Narrative often follows personality. The GOAT conversation through penalties. Penalties alone cannot decide the greatest of all time. But they highlight personality under fire. Ronaldo represents defiance under noise. Messi represents calculation under scrutiny. In Champions League penalty history, Ronaldo arguably holds the edge in high-pressure knockout authority. Messi holds his own through technical brilliance and consistency. Different philosophies. Same greatness. Final verdict: who wins the duel? If the question is, who feels more inevitable stepping up in a Champions League semi-final shootout? History leans slightly toward Cristiano Ronaldo. If the question is, who can outthink a goalkeeper with a subtle glance and surgical precision? Lionel Messi stands unmatched. Ultimately, this isn't about one being superior. It's about two legends expressing greatness differently. One roars into the moment. One whispers through it, but both have written unforgettable chapters in Champions League penalty history. And maybe that's the real beauty of this rivalry. Because when the ball is placed on that white spot, and Europe holds its breath, we don't just witness a penalty. We witness philosophy. Power versus precision. Theater versus tranquility. Ronaldo versus Messi. And football, as always, wins.